Good evening and welcome everyone. I'd like to call the June 25th, 2024 Planning Commission regular meeting to order. The Planning Commission is holding hybrid meetings. Members of the public can attend the meeting in person or observe the meeting on Zoom online by visiting www.cityofarcata.org and following the live meetings link at the bottom of the city's homepage or on the city's YouTube channel. If you are attending remotely, please be aware that the Zoom feed provides the closest to real-time stream. If you rely on the other feeds and you wish to make comments, please be aware of the time lag on those feeds. The first item on our agenda is the land acknowledgement. The City of Arcata acknowledges that the lands we are located on are the unceded ancestral lands of the Wiyot tribe. The land that Arcata rests on is known in the Wiyot language as Gudene, meaning over in the woods or among the redwoods. Past actions by local, state, and federal governments removed the Wiyot and other indigenous peoples from the land and threatened to destroy their cultural practices. The City of Arcata acknowledges the Wiyot community, their elders both past and present, as well as future generations. This acknowledgement seeks to aid in dismantling the legacy narratives of settler colonialism. Staff, will you please call roll?
Yeah, Commissioner Udowitz.
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Simmons.
Here.
Commissioner Strickland.
Here.
Commissioner Lehman.
Here.
Vice Chair Tagney.
Here.
And Chair Davies.
I am here. We are joined this evening as well by Community Development Director David Loya. Next, we have oral communications. During this time, people may make comments about items that are not on the agenda. If you wish to speak on one of our agenda items, you will have an opportunity when we are discussing those items. If you have comments about items that are not listed on our agenda today, please line up now behind the lectern. If you are on Zoom and you wish to make comments on matters that are not on today's agenda, please raise your hand by selecting the raise hand icon on the right side of your screen or by pressing *9 on your phone. The clerk will unmute you when it is your turn to speak. With that, I'd like to open public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to comment during early oral communications. Feel free to state your name for the record. May we have the first speaker, please?
Good evening, Gregory Daggett. On June 5th, there was an article in the Mad River Journal, and it had quite a few references to what the Arcata Fire District had made some comments regarding the Planning Commission. I would first state that this is what they said, that their presentations to you and all the correspondence they've written to you has basically gone in one ear and out the other ear. That was a quote from the newspaper. So, there's somebody that's pretty important in this process is basically doesn't believe that you've been having all this collaboration that you've been telling us all along. So that's pretty disturbing. And also there was pretty disturbing some of the comments from the city council members too, that they were just blinded by this response. And I mean, I don't know where they've been for the last 2 years, but I've seen a couple of EIRs, starting one with the university, and has quite passionately stated their position. And to come out and say that, wow, it's like, where is this coming from? It's just like, what world? I mean, you guys are making recommendations, but I want to know what world they're living in, that they're not even knowledgeable of this, from the standpoint, what do they do? They have a drug problem or something? It's just like unbelievable that they can't understand where the fire district is coming from, have seen these letters, and myself and others have pointed this out to the city council for quite a few times. So it's just kind of shocking, this whole process from that standpoint. It's also been noted that yes, there's been plenty of meetings. I'm not poo-pooing that, but from the standpoint of you know, being the only person in the public tonight, it's like, I also feel that it's like everything has gone in one ear and out the other, because what change have you actually done in the last 2 years from the standpoint of anything that's come from the public? I mean, the only thing that's really been changed is we got a change on J Street. You basically didn't want to see that, you know, a walkable, car-free venture there. You basically had a different view on that. So, I mean, the council reversed that. But basically, the whole standpoint here is, I mean, we're basically going to get a lot of Sorrel places, and not this European-looking city that some of us had a vision. You spent a lot of money with in this process, and you actually picked a lot of pictures that you were interested in, and it seems like you've backed away from everything. And the only shot you're going to have probably is J Street, because what I see is a lot of Sorrel places that are going to happen in the future, not something that's going to be attractive, that's going to bring people here at all. It's not going to be a great living situation. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Do we have anybody online? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate public comments and participation and input. We will now move on to our consent calendar. This evening, we have one item on consent. Item A, approve Planning Commission minutes from our regular meeting, May 14, 2024, 5:30 p.m. Would anyone like to pull the item off consent, or do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on, we will next get to our public hearing this evening. We have one public hearing on tonight's agenda. Adopt Resolution PC 24-06, recommending the City Council adopt ordinance number 1569, approving the Gateway Code and other zoning amendments. Can we begin, please, with a staff report?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Tonight, the Planning Commission is being asked to adopt resolution number PC 2406, which would make a formal recommendation on all of the text changes and mapping changes that are necessary to implement the gateway plan and the zoning changes associated with the land use changes that you've already made recommendations for based on your earlier Planning Commission resolutions that you've adopted. This time, though, you have the opportunity to see the actual text. As you recall, when you made a recommendation for the council to adopt the gateway plan before, we had talked previously that there would be certain text amendments that would be necessary to allow the gateway plan to be implemented without conflict. For example, the gateway area overlaps with the Creamery District. There's special zoning within the Creamery District. We have to remove that special zoning so it doesn't conflict with the gateway area. And so that's why this item is before you tonight. Your resolution has the specific findings that are already embedded in the resolution that the City Council has looked at. And it also includes ordinance 1569, the full text of it, in Exhibit 1, along with the maps. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, but otherwise that's what we have for you tonight.
Thanks, David. Do any planning commissioners have questions for Development Director? Okay, not seeing any, then I will open this item to public comment. If you are in person, please feel free to line up at the lectern after, please feel free to line up at the lectern. If you're on Zoom, please raise your hand by selecting the raise hand icon on the right side of your screen or by pressing *9 on your phone. The clerk will unmute you when it is your turn to speak. Feel free to state your name for the record.
So the proposed amendment would not be detrimental to the public interest, health, safety, and convenience or welfare of the city. That's one of the conditions that, and I'll have to say that letter last time we met from the fire district stating that this was going to be detrimental to their safety, the firefighters that are fighting, that have to address those buildings that are over 4 stories, put their lives in jeopardy, the people that live in those buildings. So I see a major problem right there. If you're going to vote yes on this, that's not acceptable because it's going against what your staff just wrote here. I'd also note that from the fire district standpoint, there was a grand jury report that just came out yesterday addressing the safety there and the expense, and words of conversation there. So unfortunately, in the last meeting, you didn't spend very much time on this, but this is an opportunity for you to do that tonight. I'd also address that as far as, coastal elements, a part of this too. There's no answers there. Basically, we have a grant, which the Coastal Commission has granted you and given you a lot of money for, and you don't have any answers there. So unfortunately, from the fire district standpoint and probably for the Coastal Commission, you're not even waiting for these studies or to be completed. That's one of the big beefs that the fire district has with you right now, is that you can't even wait a number of months for that to come out so that you can make an intelligent decision on what we need to do with the state of the city. And that's unacceptable. I don't know how you as a body can sit here and just totally ignore what they have recommended to you. These are people that they put their lives on life on the line for you. They're professionals. They have the education, the background, and for you just to blow this right and vote on this, and which I believe you will do tonight, because you were last week only spent 15 minutes on this subject, even though everybody in the room basically brought up this issue. The letter was read to you. I addressed it, Fred addressed it, and there wasn't a discussion. It's basically, in 2 years of being here, you guys have never had a discussion about this. Yes, you listened to them, but never a discussion. And now you're putting people's lives on the line here, and there's no need to have a rush into this. It's basically, David can make any decision right now on 3 stories and approve it. No one's stopping that, so you can have development right now, but you don't need to rush into something that's going to cost people's lives. So get your act together.
Thank you for your comments. Anybody online waiting to join the discussion?
We have none online.
Okay. I'll bring this back to the commission then. Does anyone have any additional comments, thoughts about this item on the agenda? Would anyone like to make a motion then?
I move we approve resolution number PC-24-06 and submit it to the city council.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We have no business items this evening, so we will move on to correspondence and communications. Do we have any correspondence from Planning Commission members? Peter?
I will be missing the next meeting, July 9th.
Got it. Anybody else have any upcoming absences? Did you have something you wanted to add,
Yeah,
Dan?
it's not
Go
an
ahead.
absence. This will be a question to the staff. It's probably more than you want to answer right now, but I'd like to get some clarity for the commission on what ADU projects have to go through design review. Everything in our neighborhood conservation area and downtown and stuff used to go through design review, and I think that's no longer the case, and I'd just like to be brought up to speed on that.
Yeah, we can make a presentation at the next meeting on how we analyze those.
That would be great. I understand that state law is a big part of the discussion now.
Thanks for that, Dan. Anybody else? Joel?
Yeah, I have a question of staff. It's my recollection that after we had our Scissors Gate discussion, went to the city council, and from what I recall of observing their meeting, they wanted the planning commission to come up with some recommendations. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate. Yeah.
And what's our next step? Do we have a proposed next step on that one?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to do is, we've been pretty absorbed in trying to get the general plan to the finish line here, so we haven't had as much time at the staff level to spend on bringing that item to you, but, I'd suggest that, this fall, we start taking another look at that. The council did provide some direction on that, and so we'll be bringing that back, as well as several ordinances that will go to implement the general plan changes. So that'll be sort of the body of work that you'll be working on for the next, 6 to 9 months.
Okay. Any correspondence from staff this evening? There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.